Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever. Boys and girls also. Welcome to a very, very special show. Number 100.
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought? Absolutely. But here we are.
Yep.
Still going strong.
No assassination attempts, nothing.
Nope.
Get out of here, fly.
Yeah, that fly's been active in here. Now, I think we get another 100 in us. Well, we'll see.
Well, we'll see. How long did it take? When did it
That's a
start?
good question. 4 years?
4 years?
Wow. Good grief.
Doesn't seem that long.
Well, no, it doesn't, but you're right. Every other week, yeah. That's
Yep.
26. 4 years. My. How time flies when
I
we're
remember the
having
day
fun.
you talked about it at the church basement at St. Jude's. There was
right.
something going on down there. We were down
Yep.
there, and you said, I got an idea.
Yeah. Well, I missed writing my newspaper articles.
That's right. What was that,
Yeah.
the boomerang?
The boomerang, yeah.
Yeah, I still think we ought to take part of your solution for those coyotes. That was good.
We'll have to do that. I've got what I consider, 20 great articles. I am going to sort them out and put them in a small booklet
That'd be a good idea.
and give them to my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we got
And the coyote will be in there.
that was a great one. That was a classic.
Oh, dear. Well, anyway, friends, we've hit number 100, and we have to thank some people. Katie Woodhams,
Yep.
the station manager, does a bang-up job. Jen Jacobs, in our production area, is right spot on. She keeps us straight.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Barker is, I think, probably the strength, the moral guidance
And
for
keeper
this.
of the flags.
And the keeper of the flags, too. And also, thanks to Chris Gleason, that stood in for a little bit as a fill-in. And the ever-affable Roker the dog.
I was going to say, let's not leave Roker out of
Nope.
this.
And they're going to put a clip of Roker in here for all you folks to see. Just a marvelous little pooch.
Roker's the head of security.
Right. They break in and he sleeps through it.
Yep.
And also, the U.S. Constitution that gives
right.
us the right to free speech.
Yep. And we exercise it.
We sure do. We sure do. Tell me something. What, in the 4 years we've been cooking, what are the big stories?
Oh, my God. It just goes week to week.
Yeah.
It changes,
Yeah.
It's hard. I can't lay on the story of the 4 years. I think the biggest thing that was when Trump got elected over was complete surprise.
Well, me too.
That kind of shocked everybody.
It does. And it still does.
Oh, yeah, it still does.
I mean, they still have nightmares.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, he's in charge, Not me.
You and I suspected a possibility.
We called it.
Nobody agreed with us.
We called it. The show before the election.
Yep.
But I think that's the big story. I really and truly do. I think all the others, they're much less.
Yeah, they're big at the time, but they don't have any lasting
legs.
news value to them or controversial value to them.
No legs. No. Although, this one going on now at the state police here in Massachusetts, this has got legs.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, very disturbing. Very,
More
disturbing.
so people out there think, when somebody violates trust, they violate, but when you totally trust them, they're in charge of everything. All aspects of your life. They can help you or hurt you. And when they violate your trust, that's serious.
And oftentimes irreparable.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get that trust back?
I don't know. I thought with this, what's her name, the new colonel.
The colonel, yeah.
She seemed like sort of an answer, but then lately stuff was kind of seeping out about her, too.
She's political.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't get there unless she was political.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like she knew about some of this stuff in the past, didn't do anything about it.
Right.
And then don't stand up there and say, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know anything about that was happening." That reminded me of when a few years ago when the so-called scandal broke about, I think it was the probation department and all the political hacks getting their buddies in there for a job.
Unbelievable.
And DeLeo says, "Well, I didn't know anything about it." And who was the lead violator? Him.
Who could possibly figure, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at President Trump's record, shall we?
All right.
Now, I got this in the mail, and it's a plea from one of the groups that supports him for a contribution. But it lays out a few things. The economic record pushed Congress to enact the largest tax cuts for the American people since President Reagan.
Yep.
President Trump has signed more laws to slash unnecessary federal regulations and bureaucratic red tape than any president in American history.
Yes, he did, and that's just what he said he was going to do, too.
He emphasized making America energy independent, and he has approved the building of the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines.
Right.
He has saved the American people $3 trillion over the next 10 years by withdrawing from the so-called Paris Climate Accord. The economy under President Trump is growing twice as fast as under Barack Obama. Now, when this was printed and received probably 2 or 3 months ago, there's new figures out that it's growing even faster.
Yep.
The U.S. economy has created more than 3.8 million new jobs under President Trump. The unemployment rate in the manufacturing sector has dropped to just 2.6%.
It's so low, it's difficult with some of these people to get in.
Exactly. Yeah. More than $8 trillion in new wealth has been created under President Trump. People don't understand that. But their 401ks, their investment plans,
that's right,
their IRAs are all going up.
They don't want to understand it.
A lot of people don't know how to even check that stuff when it comes in the mail. It's unbelievable how many people have to get help to look at their statement to figure it out.
Oh, you're right there.
I used to have to do that at work. But consumer confidence, which drives economic growth, is at an 18-year high under President Trump. Average hourly wages are up. He has ended parts of Obamacare. There's more to go.
Yep.
He's made it easier for lower and middle income folks to buy health insurance by allowing people to buy plans off the exchanges that are half the cost of the Obamacare bronze plans. And things of that nature. Announced the IRS will no longer fine people who don't have health insurance. And under President Trump's urging, Congress ended the Obamacare mandate that all individuals must purchase a government-approved health insurance plan, which Congress then passed. Securing America's borders. Illegal border crossings have dropped 25% under President Trump. He's doubling the number of Border Patrol officers. He's declared war on 10,000 ultra-violent MS-13 gang members. And I get a kick out of some of the liberals, Maxine Waters. They're only boys. We're sending boys back. We're deporting boys. Well, 14-year-olds with AR-15s that are killing people, but they're only boys.
This weekend, or past week in the Globe, they showed these immigrants. I think it was Italy, where they rushed the fence. They weren't boys, and they were all men, all male.
No women.
No women, all in that 17 to 23 years group, and all excited. Some of them giving the old, the gang signs already. Yeah,
Whatever.
That was trouble.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you, people see that stuff, but they don't look at it. They don't understand
comprehend what it is.
He took on ISIS and is making America strong again. Applied very tough economic sanctions against North Korea. And guess what? Kim Jong-un wants to talk now.
Yep.
And on it goes. Transforming America's courts. By the way, he is adding circuit court judges at a record pace. Mm-hmm. Just ramming them right through Congress. Taking away money from Planned Parenthood. Trying to break up the left's control of education in America. Boy, there's something. If he can pull that one off.
Education has gone off on a tangent. They've lost sight of what education was.
That's right. Yeah.
It's so philosophical now and theoretical instead of just actually teaching somebody something.
Yeah. Why did America get involved in World War II? Well, they wanted to, they were thinking of colonializing the whole world and taking over. Oh, yeah, we had ulterior motives.
You see the results every day. I just happen to have something here. I got a quote for a procedure, and it was $550. And they're going to give me a 10% discount. Okay? That's $55. The bottom line was $500. Not $495, $500. She couldn't take the 10% off $550 and come up with the correct answer.
It's amazing to watch a situation like that when people have to figure it out in their head. Mm-hmm. They can't do it.
They can't do it.
No. So anyway, suffice to say, I think President Trump has done a good job. I think that a friend of my wife's summed it up perfectly when she said, "Hey, you got Trump stickers on your pickup truck." He says, "Yep, never thought I'd do it." He says, "Still don't like the guy, but I love what he's doing."
Yep.
And, when all is said and done, well, I think it's the number one story. The number two story, but let's skip the number. Let's go on to something else, and then we'll go back to the number two story. John McCain passed away.
Yep.
A true American hero.
That's what I thought too.
Plenty of rough edges. Mm-hmm. Seemed to enjoy being a maverick.
Oh yeah, he was fiercely independent.
Yeah. To the point where sometimes I thought he got off the reservation on that stuff.
Yeah.
But
I admire the man, though.
Well, I tell you
As
what,
a man,
how can you not admire a man like that?
And his background could have made him into a pampered, privileged individual. I think it was his father and his grandfather.
Yeah.
4-star admirals.
That's right.
And that they live a life of privilege.
Of course they do.
But boy, when he got captured there in Vietnam, they went through hell.
Yeah, the tiger cages and no medical care and rotten food.
He didn't collapse. He didn't. They offered him too. He knew they were going to use it for propaganda. We'll release you.
You're not going to go without the guys that are here.
The guys. Yeah.
Yep. I'm here with these guys. Mm-hmm. When they go, I'll go. Yeah. A man's man.
Yeah, that he was.
Yeah.
I don't know his personal life that much, but
No.
I don't know if there's. I'd never heard of any scandal that was involved.
I don't really think so.
It was
No.
just
Although, politicians always seem to have a skeleton in their closet someplace. But no, pretty straight shooter. Well, something else came up here in the middle, and I'm going to deal with that. Captain Ernest Medina passed away.
Okay.
Remember him?
Yeah, I know who he was.
He was Lieutenant Calley's commanding officer.
Right.
Captain
Miley.
Milai.
Yep.
What was your spin on that whole mess, Dwayne?
Well, we were in the Army. The stuff rolls downhill.
Straight downhill.
And as the low man commissioned officer there, it's going to land right in his lap. And he took the fall for everybody.
He did.
You're right. That's the way I saw it.
Anyway. Yeah. Now, if memory serves, Calley got 20 years.
Something like that.
But he only served like 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. And I think he realized that wasn't an appropriate sentence.
No, but it took the heat off.
It did. It did.
That's why after a couple of years, people forget. Just let him go.
Reading between the lines, it looks like he lost control of the troops.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And the troops just went in there and destroyed everybody and everything.
Yep.
350 people up to 450 or 500, depending upon whose count. Medina settled in Wisconsin.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And worked as a salesman for a helicopter company and a real estate agent in Marinette, Wisconsin. He also was awarded the Silver Star. Mm-hmm. And he just wasn't handed one. It was quite a thing he did. When his men wandered into a minefield, a lot of them were hurt badly. Mm-hmm. He went into the minefield pulling them out.
Yeah, that takes a certain characteristic.
Yeah. No job for sissies.
Mm-mm.
No. So he said in 1988, called the My Lai killings a horrendous thing. I have regrets for it, but I have no guilt over it because I didn't cause it.
Yeah. I cannot recall the name of the book I read, and it was dealt with similar circumstances. And it dwells on the psychological reaction of people. Now that whole thing, the whole massacre was terrible. But if you put yourself in the situation that they were in, and it's not excusing it, but you can understand it somewhat. Yeah. You can only get shot at so many times and only lose your buddies so many times. This guy gets shot, this guy gets shot. You're exhausted, you're sick, physically sick. You don't have decent food, water, your sanitation is terrible. And then somebody starts to shoot at you out of a hut
or behind women and children.
Yeah, behind women and children.
You become desensitized after you mow them down.
You certainly do.
But you don't have any choice. You've got to mow them down, or otherwise you die.
That's right. And it's not excused. It's not being excused, but it's understandable to a certain degree.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you've been exposed to that.
It's true.
You really need to think about it before you criticize something like that. You can criticize it all you want. I mean, freedom of speech and everything.
And these were ordinary, today we call them kids.
Yeah.
These were kids that come off the street someplace. They were just Joe America,
19, 20, 21 years old, yeah. Huh? Tough, really tough. In the past 8 years, what do you suppose the annual percentage increase, actually, no. What do you think the total increase has been on tickets at Logan Airport.
Tickets
In
sold?
the past 8 years. What, monetarily, what the cost of the ticket?
Oh, boy, that's a tough one. In 8 years? I'm going to say 120%.
3%.
How much?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Where is all the traffic coming from?
I don't know.
They're jammed
but
up in the...
Logan Airport was compared, airline for airline, with Worcester Airport. Worcester Airport's gone up 120%.
Okay, that's...
And
well, I got one right. I just had the wrong location.
yeah, but actually, airfare has been really stable.
Yeah, overall.
The price, yeah. I know when I was traveling, it never fluctuated. Well, over 15 or 18 years, there was damn little fluctuation. In fact, a lot of times the price went down.
Yeah, well, some of that, you got two factors there. Well, help more than that. But one factor you got to look at is the added fees. They added over the years.
Story, yeah.
Yeah, that's all profit for them. And number two is the price of oil.
Yep.
That's the biggest expenditure in an airline is that jet fuel that's going in that engine.
Yep. And jet fuel has been very stable. I mean, all things considered of late. Well, I have some of my little quick hitters here, but I'm going to stay with important things for a couple more minutes. Catholic Church is going through another turmoil.
Turmoil. That's the term I would have used.
Yep. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's tragic, but I think it has to get put out in the open, and it has to be cleaned out for once and all, just top to bottom, just get rid of the dirt.
And there's plenty there.
Yeah.
You know, and the people in the Herald today, 2 different articles. The guy that's in charge of Radio 1060, which is Catholic broadcasting in Boston, said the Cardinal's got to go.
Yeah, I think I read something about him.
Yeah, and you know, he threw the other priest under the bus. I never saw that letter.
Yeah,
about Cardinal McCarrick there.
That wasn't a wise move on his part.
No matter who you and I don't know about you, but I stood up for my guys and I took blame.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You know, when stuff happened, and I wasn't going to throw them under the bus.
No, if I did something wrong, I maybe didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't know it was going to happen, and I should have known.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of times my guys went and made decisions on their own. And the owner of the company blew his stack, couldn't see straight.
Yep.
But what they did was they overstepped their bounds a little bit. Well, they gave out an extra discount or 2, promised to that kind of stuff.
With an opening order.
Yeah.
And the guy, thank you very much, and disappeared. It was hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But I couldn't throw them under the bus. You know, and I'm surprised the Cardinal didn't stand up and say, you know what, I saw that. I don't think I realized the impact of it. I should have done something about it, but I didn't. But he didn't say that.
No, he said, I didn't know anything about it.
And he's going to look pretty stupid if he has to backtrack and admit it now.
Yeah, it's twice as hard now.
Twice as hard. And you know, one of the really top officials over there in Rome claims that the Pope saw material about McCarrick.
That is coming out.
And
various sources.
Pope Benedict had placed sanctions on McCarrick. And Pope Francis lifted the sanctions. So he's kind of got a
little tarnish there.
Yeah, a little problem that needs to be straightened out. But, you know, I don't know, Dwayne. I've always felt it's my church, my faith, I love the church. I love the faith. But there's people that are administrating it.
That's right.
And when the people go bad, you got to do something about it.
Yeah, it's been for centuries. It's a very large, complex organization, and it's not open to scrutiny. It's very closed.
Exactly.
And once you get something like society, I don't care what it is, religious or law enforcement, state police, for example, once you get that closed society, things start to change inside that can't be stopped.
When we first had the blow up here in Boston was what? I mean, 10 or 15 years ago. And I felt at the time that cardinal law covered it up.
Oh, I did too.
Probably something the buddy system didn't want to bring shame to the church, blah, blah, blah. But he didn't want the money to fall off every Sunday. And if he ever came out and admitted he knew what was going on, then the collections would go downhill fast. And I'm convinced that's a lot of why they covered a lot of that stuff up.
Oh, I think so too.
Where is it going to end? I don't know. That's out in Pittsburgh. Can you believe how many kids are involved and how many priests are involved?
300 priests.
300 priests,
kids.
yeah.
They don't even know how many.
Yeah, really. Unbelievable. I don't know what to think about that, except they're a bad bunch.
Yep.
Anybody that would harm a kid like that, man, that's bad. Bad.
Again, it's double harm because you trusted those people. Those people were moral authorities, and then to betray that trust.
That's, again, the state police.
Exactly what we were talking about. Yep.
When you hold them up as your ideal, they are the ones that enforce the laws.
Yep.
They are brave and true and supportive and all that great stuff, and they betray you.
Yep.
I don't know how the hell they win the trust back. It doesn't come quickly.
No, it's not going to come quick.
Not going to at all.
I can't go by a cruiser not thinking he's sleeping back there.
Yeah, or on overtime.
Our
Cardinal O'Malley, time runs short to mend church reputation. That's the headline. I think that that ship may have sailed.
Yeah, I think we're too little late to be worrying about reputation.
Yeah. We need to get our house in order.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, remember the poor little baby doe that washed up in the ocean?
Yeah. Yep. Washed up on the beach.
Well, Mama turned and became a state's witness, and he got life imprisonment for killing baby doe. But you know what? She could have been involved in that.
Didn't she just get in trouble with something?
Yep.
Yes, I thought.
Second time now she has relapsed. And I gotta tell you, she tested positive in a recent drug screening. But the type of drug was not disclosed, a probation department spokeswoman said. She also violated probation in May when she tested positive for marijuana and cocaine and missed a scheduled visit at the probation office.
Yeah, that.
Now, this is bad. This probation, she's violating the probation, but get a load of what a psychiatrist, an expert on addiction, has to say.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Bond's past trauma will influence her current behavior. It's not infrequent that people with a drug history have a significant trauma history. He said, relapse is not an unexpected occurrence for a person with an addiction and can be part of the process of recovery. Now, you got to be kidding.
That's just what I was going to say. It's psychobabble.
Yep, psychobabble is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, if she's bad, she's going to turn around and be good.
Yeah, because she's bad.
It's part of the deal. And the poor little baby is dead.
Yep.
Because she was a drug addict and mixed up with a bum. Yep. Well, I'll tell you. What you got? You got something there?
There was a good letter the other day in the Globe in response to the TSA's Quiet Skies, where they're looking after people just ordinary. And he nailed the whole idea. He says, nobody's got offended. Nobody knows that they were being watched. They didn't, do anything to him. But he felt so much safer that they were actually doing something. And it's like that, see something, say something.
Yeah.
But he said, if you can't watch somebody, how are you going to see them?
And if it's nothing worse than refining your skills.
That's right.
What is wrong with that? Personally, I feel comfortable knowing the Sky Marshals are there.
Me too.
And if they want to watch me, number one, they'll probably go to sleep out of boredom. Yeah. But number two, I don't really care. What the hell difference does it make to me?
Doesn't matter to me. And today you're watched every place.
Of course.
You walk into a supermarket or a grocery store or a supermarket or a department store, there's cameras everywhere on that thing. And they're following you around, watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's everybody gets offended so easily now. It's just
tell me about it.
Just grow up.
It just, I don't understand, well, for the life of me, how you can be offended because someone is watching you.
Yeah, they're looking at you.
Wow.
Did you read the article about the kid that got left in, I think it was Manchester, New Hampshire, on the bus? He was he was brown, so they wouldn't let him on the bus. That was so skewed wrong.
Yeah.
The Globe should be ashamed. It's that Nest, what's his name?
Nesta something.
Yeah, he's the one that was whining about that. And here they were just following their own procedures.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the kid. He called him brown. I think the kid was a Afghanistan American or something. He had been in New Hampshire with somebody for the summertime. And he had an electronic ticket instead of a paper ticket. And when you got on the bus in Manchester, New Hampshire, I think it was Manchester, but in New Hampshire anyway, they don't have the facilities to print out a paper ticket there. So you have to have an ID to get on the bus. So because the bus drivers got to know when they get to Portland to change, or Concord, I guess, change the electronic ticket into a paper ticket. And he said there was like 10 or 15 people that had electronic tickets. Well, he can't keep track of who had a ticket and who had an electronic. So they asked for an ID. He takes those IDs when he gets to Concord to the bus terminal, turns them in, gets tickets, and then he has to count for everybody on that bus. The kid didn't have an ID. But that's a procedure problem. But this, whatever his name is, he makes it into the only reason the kid wasn't put on that bus.
Racial.
Because he's brown.
Yeah.
And the whole article goes on and on and on about that.
The Globe has lost a lot of objectivity.
Oh, my God.
And, they didn't have enough to hang on to in the first place, but they've lost a lot in the last 6 months to a year. I mean, some of the stuff that's in the Globe now is unreadable.
It's worse than yellow journalism.
Yeah.
It's just vicious sometimes.
Because they know they're not telling the truth.
That's right. And they just keep pounding it.
I mean, if they were just writing something out of sheer stupidity, you could say, what a bunch of bozos.
What an ignorant guy you are.
But they're doing it to deceive.
Oh, yeah. And it's done purposely.
There was we're getting invaded with these guys. There was a...
I think it's the same one, just trying to drive us crazy.
Yeah. He's doing a good job. There was a article in the Globe about Boston is cracking down on graffiti. You know, you go in on the train and see the graffiti that is there along the walls as you approach South Station especially. You know, this costs a lot of money.
Oh, it certainly does.
And these guys are well known. 22 years old, 22 years old, 19 years old.
Well, of course they're well known. They're bragging about there's tagging.
That's right.
Look at me, and I got my characteristic signature right
That's
here.
Exactly right.
I want everybody to know who this is.
And there are big fines for this. So they have finally arrested a couple of these bozos and are doing something with them. Let's see what they eventually do, but jeepers creepers. That's one of my pet peeves, is that graffiti stuff. What you got?
Oh, the article was called "No Bail for Dangerous Criminals."
I get a couple of those too. Yeah.
There's actually was a law. It was Brannigan decision, a court decision that says how the judge can or can't set bail. According to this article, some of these judges, they don't follow that law at all. They are interjecting their own ideas of this should do this. And this one relates to the police officer in the Cape that got killed. Why was he out on bail?
I read that. Yep.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
These guys should not be out, and they're out for the thinnest reason. Just to summarize a quick of it, bail used to be set to ensure the guy would either come back for court, or else it was set high enough that he wouldn't get out because it's dangerous. Well, then some of these Looney Tune judges decided, well, you can't set bail high because man A has got a lot of money, man B doesn't have any money, so it's not fair.
Not fair.
Because he can afford it, but he can't. So then now they wanted, you set bail at a level that the guy can afford his assets. Well, that's crazy.
Of course it is.
That doesn't take him less dangerous.
No, if it's a mad dog, you want to keep him locked up.
Exactly. It's just typical
psychobabble.
Yeah.
It really and truly is. And they're so worried that, he was just out peddling drugs trying to feed his family.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, right. Unbelievable. There's an interesting thing from Bucharest, Romania. Former BU professor and Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel he's passed away, had his home desecrated over there with anti-Semitic graffiti. One of the comments was, Wiesel is in hell with Hitler, and things of that nature. Tell me something. The amount of anti-Semitism is up the last couple of years, up again this year.
Okay.
Will this ever end, anti-Semitism?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I think it's ingrained on some people. And I don't understand it. Why it should bother somebody if somebody's Jewish? It's none of their business. It's none of my business. None of your business. It's the own person's beliefs.
Yeah. Or in many cases, their ethnicity.
Or their ethnicity.
Not just their religious beliefs.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's the fact that you were born of a Jewish background.
Yep.
Now, how does that make sense to persecute someone like that? I missed the point.
No. Well, if you go back to the Holocaust era, that was sort of a push the blame off onto somebody else.
Hitler used the Jew
Exactly.
as a punching bag.
A scapegoat for
A
everything.
scapegoat, yes. He played that one like a violin.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
But as far as we've just discussed that, I don't understand why it's so.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like that's just discriminating against you. You're German.
Yeah.
I'm Irish. I mean, boy, oh boy, we were born that way.
Yeah.
I had nothing to say about it.
No, I'd have been rather been born a rich Italian or something. You know? But I wasn't.
Rich anything.
Yeah.
Tell me something. Would you care to opine on changing the name of Faneuil Hall?
That is a topic that irritates the living hell out of me. You cannot rewrite history.
Nope.
You cannot even reinterpret it. I know that Victor always writes the history. But it is what it is.
Yeah, there's a football player,
Yeah,
a
he
coach
says
that
that.
used to say that. Yeah.
It starts with a B.
Yeah, Belichick. He's a Croat.
But he's right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
The Civil War was a civil war for reasons of various degrees of truthfulness, strength, and validity.
Do you know something? A lot of African Americans want to go back to the shackles of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we came from. And what have you guys done for us lately? Well, about 650,000, I think, white men died in the Civil War from the North. I'm not sure of that number.
It's a lot. It was
A lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot from the South that died.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, those were bad guys, so they don't count. Somehow the African Americans have forgotten that it was white men that died that freed you.
Yeah. Well, that's not convenient sometimes to remember.
It's not. That's not convenient. No. No.
But to change a name because the guy was a slave owner, supposedly. Well, half to three, well, hell, more than that. The well-to-do Bostonians, pre-Civil War times, most of them were slave owners. They didn't want to call themselves that, but they had domestic slaves that they would.
They had house
housekeeper.
blacks.
Yeah. Maintained the house or kept the horses or something.
They worked in the stable. They cooked. They cleaned.
And that's some of the very relatives of the ones that are whining now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if they keep carrying this further and further, we'll have to change the name of every bloody building that's over 100 years old, for heaven's sakes.
You will.
Yeah.
Absolutely you will.
This is madness.
Even our military bases, Fort Bragg, a big Confederate general. What do you want to call it now? Fort Sunflower or something,
Yeah. Rosebud.
Yeah, Rosebud.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Well, here's an interesting. Our treasurer, Deb Goldberg, she's really a piece of work.
Oh yeah,
The casino, she's come out and said, casino will not harm the lottery. Treasurer no longer sees MGM Springfield as an adversary. Obviously, she got paid off.
Well, probably.
Yeah. But wait, however, if she thinks that the Springfield one is not going to affect the lottery, well, she's dreaming, okay?
It will have some effect.
Wait until you see the effect sports betting is going to have on the lottery.
That's
going to take the lottery to the cleaners, and she should be thinking about that and worrying about that.
Yeah, she should become the lottery should become part of the sports betting process instead of competition.
And get her the hell out of there.
Yeah.
She hasn't had, she's puzzled by the lottery and the proliferation of games and.
Well, I got a problem with the lottery. I think the player's return is so bad.
Yeah, but it's better than most states.
Yeah,
Believe it or not.
Probably is.
I mean, playing scratch tickets in some of the other states where you get like a 30% return on your money.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And here's another one of my pet peeves. Hub homeless death rate high. You know why? Because we don't give a damn about the homeless. That's why.
No, out of sight. Keep them out of
I
sight.
mean, the biggest problem with the folks in Boston, down through Boston, down through the financial district and up on Beacon Hill is kicking them out of the way when they're walking on the sidewalk, you know?
Well, I see them when we go early to into Tufts.
Yeah.
And you get off at exit 20 there and go down that ramp to Neyland Street.
Yeah.
They sleep on the sidewalk. There's a little wall right there. And they're all huddled on that, sleeping on that wall.
It is pathetic that we treat people like that. Now, there's a lot to be said for the counter argument that they don't want to get off the street. I've talked to these people when I was volunteering for that ministry, and they don't want any part of living.
There's a certain percentage that's the lifestyle they want. Yeah.
Now, of course, they're afraid, too, of being in those overnight shelters and all of that, you know, Pine Street Inn. There's a lot of violence takes place.
Yeah, those places can't be the Ritz. They're not something you and I would want to spend our time
But you know, when that bridge was found to be defective, that went out to whatever the island was out there, where the homeless center was. You haven't seen Boston or Quincy or any one of those towns in any big speed to fix that bridge.
Nope.
Because it's just for the homeless and the drug addicts.
Yep, that's right.
And here's another problem I have. Sharks. Now, we've had sharks in the waters of Massachusetts since time immemorial.
That's right. They're
since
ancient
before
creatures.
It was Massachusetts.
That's right.
Back when it was Wampanoag Indian territory, there were sharks out there. What is the big deal about the sharks being out there? It's on the news. It's on TV.
It's news. That's exactly what it is. It's sensational news. It's almost like the TV stations and the radio stations and the newspapers is just waiting for somebody to get killed.
Or dismembered.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of blood.
That's what they're actually looking for here.
Yeah, I know. And look at this. Shark attacks in Massachusetts. All of them listed. Yeah. Oh, man alive.
Don't go in that damn cold water in the first place. That's their home.
Yeah. And you know...
did you see that one, that clip where the guy is on the front of the boat?
Yeah.
With a GoPro camera?
Oh, yeah.
And the shark came up from the bottom with his mouth open. I thought it was cooler than hell. I said, this is like Jaws. Well, look at here.
Oh, hello, Andrew.
Hello.
Well, my word. Look at this, will you?
What did we do to deserve this?
Little cake here. Happy 100 shows.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very
All of
much.
us here at Norfolk Community Television.
You guys are very considerate.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you. Well, congrats on 100 shows. Bill, you're the only one that's been on all 100, but to Dwayne and Chris and everybody. So we got a little cake here for you with some congrats balloons.
Thank you very much. That was very, very thoughtful, you guys.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
So we look forward to maybe 100 more.
100 more?
We just discussed that.
Yeah.
Whether we're going to survive another 100 or not.
We'll see.
We're going to try.
Okay.
But thank you. This is really neat.
Yeah.
Very good. And we're going to get you to sit in to one of these shows.
We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
But congratulations.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Andrew.
much.
What a guy, huh?
Yep. And thank you, Katie, and
Thank you, Katie, very much.
hiding behind the camera there.
Yeah. And Jen, thank you.
Smiling as always.
My word.
Thank Roker, too.
Yeah.
That was nice of him.
That was very nice.
It's a very pretty little cake. Yep.
All right. I see. Oh, this one. Well. Yeah. Okay. That little family.
Oh my God! Yeah, that is.
2 little girls.
Yep.
Innocent little girls murdered.
Yep.
A housewife, pregnant, murdered.
For no reason.
None at all. And this guy then takes the bodies out to the oil field, submerges them in raw oil, raw petroleum, and hides them out there.
And he had when they interviewed him as a person of interest, he wasn't a suspect yet, he had no regret, no remorse. He wasn't, if it was you and I, and our wife and kids were missing,
we'd be going rat trap.
Yeah, we'd be just be breaking down. But he was just like,
I don't know. They may have gone on someplace. And the other one, too, that little jogger girl.
Oh.
Out in, I think it was Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, out jogging and followed by this illegal alien.
Don't forget, illegal aliens never commit crimes.
That's right. This must have been an accident that he hit her over the head with something very sharp.
Yep.
And killed her. And he admits it, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Nice guy. Now, I wonder if the liberals are going to get petitions up to keep him in the country.
You never know. Nothing surprises me.
I suspect they may.
Yeah.
But so now, on the backdrop of those 2 incidents, and a third one that I have a thing on, but it is just too gruesome to even talk about on television. Horrible. What this guy did. Death penalty set to return to Nebraska.
Yep.
The Nebraska governor, Pete Ricketts, said that he is going to return it. It is going to be viable, and he will sign the papers.
Yep.
I don't see how you can look at those pictures and then say, I don't believe in the death penalty.
Yeah, society can't put up with these people, these guys that do this kind of stuff, too. And we don't have a moral obligation, I don't think, to keep them in prison for the rest of their life. They should not be part of the human race.
I don't think this bozo is part of the human race, I'll tell you. He described his family's disappearance as a nightmare.
Yeah, but he says it in so cold and callous way.
Yeah, like he's talking about a box of popcorn that's missing. Man alive. Texted her a few times, called her, but she never got back to me, he said.
Gee.
Wow, huh? That's just cold-blooded murder.
It is. He's sick. Something wrong with him.
Really? Well, I guess he had a girlfriend.
Was that it?
Does that explain everything? But I don't know. All I know is that I really don't see us supporting him for the next 42 years.
Nope.
When Pop goes a weasel and he's out of business.
I see that. Surveys showed in one of the areas that a majority of prisoners now would rather get a form of execution rather than the lethal injection was inhaled nitrogen gas. I never knew that was a...
I never knew that either.
And it was like 60-40 was said they would murder.
Do you know, I still don't understand this, but what is inhumane about the firing squad?
Nothing. It's instantaneous.
It's instantaneous. It hits the heart and it's instant death.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. It's the gun.
Well, of course.
How could I have been so stupid?
I don't know.
Yikes.
You lose all sense of sanity when it comes to guns. You know,
especially on the 100th show.
Yeah, there you go.
Good Lord. Well, I'll tell you. One other thing here. Diane Feinstein had a woman working for her.
Yeah.
In her office. It was a spy.
Yep. Now, had that been somebody else, that wasn't a liberal Democrat from California, this thing would have blown up into the scandal of the year.
And she's on the Intelligence Committee.
The irony there is just you can't make this up.
Unbelievable. I said it was a woman. It may have been a man. But in short, 20 years.
Yeah.
Living like part of her family. Mm-hmm. Boy, didn't stumble over any secrets or anything, I guess.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Papers laying around.
Wow.
Documents.
Yeah. And just what you overheard Feinstein talking to on the radio, on the telephone with other senators and stuff, you know? Well, sir, we have survived our 100th.
Amazingly so, but we did.
Show. And now we're going to start planning for 101.
Yep.
So, folks, thank you very much for watching, and thank all of you that have watched all 100 shows.
And if there's anything you guys would like to see us discuss or do, contact Bill or I.
Now, drop dead is not one of the options that you want to see us do.
Step in front of a bus is not working either.
Yeah, that isn't it either. Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, we'll entertain just practically any subject.
That's right, yeah.
We can mutilate anything.
We can humiliate people of all races and creeds. But, hey, thank you for watching. And show 101 is coming up.
Yep.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.